Fade in. Interior, crypt, night. A dank, dusty crypt. Cobwebs in the corners. A large wooden desk with 2 triple candelabras. The candles cast a flickering yellow light. On the business side of the desk sits Killian in a throne-like chair. He's a stereotypical vampire. Black cloak and serious face with furrows of millennia. Slick, jet-black hair fashioned into a perfect widow's peak. Killian is studying a sheet of paper and frowning. Opposite sits Oberon on a low wooden stool. He is also dressed like a typical vampire, but has the fresh face of a teenager. Oberon looks too unthreatening to be taken seriously. His unruly black hair is making a valiant attempt to stay in a widow's peak, but not quite working. Untidy cowlicks fall over his forehead. Oberon is nervous. Killian finishes reading, puts down the paper, and sighs.
Oberon, you're a disgrace to our profession. Last year's annual assessment was bad enough. But this...
Oberon fidgets uncomfortably and starts mumbling.
I haven't been keeping count.
Not keeping count? Oberon! You only indoctrinated 4 new associates last year, and this year, 2! 2! Oberon. And according to this...
Killian waves the paper angrily at Oberon.
One of those was 86. We need young, attractive vampires who can get close to their victims, not wrinkly old geriatrics with the sex appeal of a warthog.
Killian points at the flinching Oberon, and then calms down and shakes his head sadly.
I can't tell whether you're lazy or just plain incompetent.
I'll try and do better next year.
Next year. You'll do better this very night. Do you want us outnumbered by the werewolves? I want 3 new recruits before dawn. Otherwise, I'm returning you to your previous life. You'll spend the rest of your days flipping burgers and worrying about your rent. Do you understand, Oberon?
A chastened Oberon stares at the desktop despondently.
Yes, Killian.
Exterior, quiet street, night, continuous. Oberon is gliding along a street, heading for the town center. He pretends to be walking, but his feet hardly touch the pavement. His cape flows out behind him. The street is deserted, but he's trying not to draw attention to himself in case he's seen.
With Killian's unspeakable threat hanging over me, I wafted into town, glorying in my incredible lightness of being. How could I give this up and go back to the clumsy, lumpen teenager I'd been before? I had about 8 hours to find 3 victims, but my problem is not laziness or incompetence. It's something I would never admit to Killian. My problem is ethical. I just can't force myself on people. I need an invitation, which probably accounts for my lack of success.
Just as Oberon is passing a church, the clock starts chiming. The church clock shows 10 p.m. Then the church door opens and light spills out. A sudden blast of Holy Spirit hits Oberon like a strong gust of wind, and he is blown against a wall. Oberon cowers in a huddle until the church door closes again. Then he stands up and starts brushing himself down.
Whew, that was a close one.
As he is recovering, he hears the sound of a commotion nearby. He glances down a side street opposite the church and sees 3 youths manhandling a girl, Gretchen. She is fighting back as they laugh and urge each other on. Gretchen is dressed in black. Her black hair has purple highlights. She has heavy eyeshadow and purple lips. Oberon immediately goes to the rescue. He drifts silently towards the group and sees the biggest youth, Pete, is holding her arms. Pete is good-looking, tall, and muscular.
Just one little kiss from those sexy purple lips, babe. That's all I'm asking.
Get lost, you big ape.
Excuse me? Let her go.
The 3 youths and Gretchen all turn towards Oberon in surprise. He is like a shadow in the darkness, and they didn't notice him approach.
What the hell?
Pete and the others look him up and down in amazement.
What did you say, weirdo?
I said, let her go.
Pete is shocked at Oberon's audacity.
You can kiss my ass.
Pete's two cronies laugh.
That was all the invitation I needed. Neck, breast, gluteus maximus, it was all the same to me. Okay.
Okay, what, you fruitcake?
Let her go and I'll kiss your ass.
Pete grins, and his two friends snigger.
Go on, Pete. Let him do it. It'll be a laugh.
Pete lets Gretchen go, and she stands there watching in fascination as Pete drops his jeans to reveal a pair of grimy boxers. He hitches one side up to reveal a beefy buttock.
Help yourself, wacko.
Oberon drops to his knees and kisses Pete's buttock, before gently sinking his fangs in. Pete's two cronies guffaw in delight, but Pete looks bemused. Then a euphoric expression crosses his face. Oberon gets to his feet and pats Pete on the shoulder.
You can pull your pants up now, Pete.
Pete does so obediently. Then Oberon whispers in his ear and points back up the street in the direction of the crypt. Pete nods and sets off at a brisk trot.
Hey, Pete, where are you going?
Pete's cronies glance at Gretchen and Oberon, then hesitantly follow in Pete's wake. Gretchen holds out her hand towards Oberon, and he shakes it.
Thanks. That was kind of cool, I guess. I'm Gretchen.
Oberon, what chapter do you belong to?
Chapter?
You know, the Lamia Club, the Bloodsucker Society?
Oh, no, I'm supposed to be goth, not a vampire. I take it you're going to the party?
Party?
The fancy dress party, the cloak and all. You're supposed to be Dracula. You can walk me the rest of the way if you like.
The penny dropped. Gretchen wasn't one of us, but a party sounded good. I might find another willing recruit. Oh, yes, the party. Let's go.
Exterior, a different street. Night, continuous. Oberon and Gretchen are walking together, talking and laughing. There are more people around. They stare at the oddly dressed couple as they pass.
Gretchen and I got on like a house on fire, and it wasn't long before I was smitten, even if she was diurnal. By the time we got to the party house, I'd started thinking that returning to mortal life might not be so bad after all.
Exterior, party house, night, continuous. The house is a blaze of light and music. Guests in fancy dress spill out into the front yard, holding drinks and chatting. Oberon pauses, staring at someone wrapped in bandages like the Invisible Man. Then he sees someone with a wolfman mask and stops dead, a low growl coming from his throat. Oberon is about as intimidating as a brave puppy, and Wolfman doesn't even notice. Wolfman raises his mask to take a drink, and Oberon realizes he is not really a werewolf. Gretchen grabs Oberon's hand and pulls him through the crowd and into the house. Interior, hallway of party house, night, continuous. Gretchen and Oberon squeeze past a large, rotund person in a gorilla suit and through a doorway into the main room. Interior, main room of party house, night, continuous. Gretchen and Oberon enter a large, noisy room with brightly flashing colored lights. The room is crowded with Roman soldiers, mummies, cave girls, and even a Batman and Robin. In the center of the room, several guests are gyrating wildly to disco music. Gretchen stands on tiptoe and leans close to Oberon to make herself heard over the noise.
I'm going to say hi to my friends. Why don't you get yourself a drink and then mingle?
Oh, okay.
And come and find me later, when the slow dancing starts.
Oberon watches sadly as Gretchen disappears into the crowd. Then he picks his way back out of the room. Near the doorway, he comes face to face with a Count Dracula look-alike. The two look each other up and down. They are almost identical.
Hey man, nice outfit. Make it yourself?
No, it came from our, costume department.
Costume department? Cool. You in the movies? Mine came from Temu. You should try method acting. Really get into that role. You might be more convincing.
Yeah, thanks. I'll give that a try. Sorry, gotta go.
Oberon makes a hasty exit from the awkward encounter. Interior, kitchen, night, continuous. Several guests are standing around in the kitchen, drinking. A large island unit is covered with bottles, cans, cartons, and glasses. Oberon surveys the selection and then sees a jug of bright red liquid that could be blood. He pours himself a glass, takes a sip, and pulls a face.
Ugh, tomato juice!
As he is standing contemplating his drink, a curvaceous, drunken young woman dressed as a bunny girl enters the kitchen.
Ooh, a vampire!
She goes straight to Oberon and flings a bare arm around his neck.
Bite me! Bite me!
The woman pulls Oberon's head down to her ample bosom and giggles. Oberon looks up briefly, shrugs, puts down his glass of tomato juice, and bites her as invited. The woman quietens down, and a calm, euphoric expression crosses her face. Oberon straightens up and whispers in her ear. He makes hand gestures to explain the way to the crypt. The woman, now sober, nods obediently and sachets out of the kitchen.
2 down, 1 to go.
Oberon picks up his tomato juice, then shakes his head, puts it back down, and leaves the kitchen. Interior, main room of party house, night, later. The party has quieted down and couples are slow dancing to romantic music. Among them, Gretchen is swaying with Oberon, hands clasped around his neck. They look extremely happy.
You're so light on your feet, you feel kind of floaty, as if you could fly away.
Gretchen rests her head on Oberon's shoulder.
I wish we could fly away together.
Do you really mean that?
Gretchen looks into his eyes and nods.
I feel the same way about you, Gretchen, and there is a way we can fly away together.
Gretchen stares at him and smiles.
If only that was true. But tell me about it anyway.
They continue to dance as Oberon whispers in her ear. Interior, crypt, night, later. Killian is still sitting at his desk, shuffling papers. Gretchen and Oberon sit opposite, quietly waiting for him to finish.
It turned out that Gretchen's life was just as miserable as mine had been, and when I explained about my last chance, she asked to be brought into the fold and offered her slender neck. For once, Killian seemed pleased with me.
Killian looks up and smiles at Gretchen.
Welcome aboard, my dear. I'm sure you won't regret joining our happy ship.
Well, Auberon told me what a great chapter this is and what a wonderful boss you are.
Killian preens at the compliment and glances at Oberon benevolently.
Yes, well, I do my best, and Oberon, that was an excellent night's work. Well done.
Well, thank you, Killian, and if you don't mind, I'd like to partner with Gretchen. Show her the ropes on our happy ship.
Of course. Good idea. You can take Gretchen under your wing.
Killian chuckles at his little joke, and Oberon looks at him in surprise.
That was the first time I ever heard Killian laugh, and it came as quite a shock. Until that night, I never even knew he had a sense of humor.
Fade out. End.